Hey guys, so today we are planning for February and I'm gonna take you through my whole process for setting up my bullet journal. Before we get started, I'd like to thank Audible for sponsoring today's video. There's a free trial link waiting for you in the description and I'm gonna talk more about that towards the end. As always, I'm first gonna show you how the previous month turned out. I really loved January's setup and how simple it was. But I gotta say, I did start missing some color in my journal, so we're gonna fix that today. You're gonna see that I'm not gonna be doing too many changes to the actual setup, except for, the layout of the spreads, but overall it's been working great for me, and I find that I have everything I need to get me through the month. To make it easy for you guys to follow along, I'm going to show you a quick tutorial on how I draw these super simple roses for the cover page. I begin by drawing two circles, which are going to be the roses, obviously, and then some random leaves around them. Next, I'm going to color them before adding any details, and this is just going to ensure that we don't smudge the pen afterwards. For the roses, you're going to start making kind of a rounded triangle that touches the outside, but instead of closing it off, you're going to take it a bit towards the inside every time, and then just continue on making this kind of spiral until you reach the middle of the circle. For the leaves, we are keeping it super simple because they're really small. We're just making a line down the middle and then adding a few more details. After that, I'm taking my brush pen again and I'm just going over the color one more time to add some shadows. You really don't have to be precise with this, but it does make a difference when you do it. If you've had kind of a slow start of the year, you could use this time to reflect upon what you could do to start fresh this month. Finally, I'm adding some shadows to the leaves as well by going in with a darker marker and then you can finish it off with anything else that you want to add to the drawing. Finally, I'm adding the title in the middle of the page and I'm creating that 3D effect that I cannot seem to get rid of, and then I'm also adding a small calendar below that. For the monthly page, I'm doing the same calendar layout again and patting myself on the back because I didn't mess up the days like I did last month, but yeah, I must have checked like 10 times just to make sure. Not doing too much decoration here, just a few roses at the corners, and I'm probably going to use the blank spaces for either goals or I don't know, if I need something I'll put it there, if not it'll just be blank. The next two pages are for my master to-do list, and I have to say, if you've never done a master to-do list for the month, it's definitely worth trying out because this is where I dump all of the tasks as they come to mind and I don't have to worry about scheduling them or anything like that. And then, when I get to my weekly planning, I check this list and see what I could get done that week. My habit tracker is a little bit different this month. I've decided to switch it up a bit because I've been doing more or less the same layout since forever. And I mean, this one's not too much different, but I made this kind of table with 2 rows of 14 squares for each habit. So that way I have 28 squares, which is perfect for this month. On the other page, I'm doing something that I saw in Caitlin's setup. I'm going to link her video below. The idea is for the whole month of February to write one thing that you love about yourself each day. And so at the end of the month, you're going to have 28 reasons to feel better about yourself, I guess. To be honest, I think it's going to be a bit weird to have to come up with those yourself. Maybe you could ask others for help, but anyways, I just did a little box to fill in each day. I think this page ended up a bit too cluttered. I should have stopped decorating, but there's no turning back now, so I'm just gonna pretend that it's nice to look at, I guess. So instead of the sleep tracker that I've been doing for the past few months, I decided to try out a time tracker again, or I think it's called a time log. But anyways, the idea is that the numbers at the top represent the hours in a day, and then you choose a color for each activity, for example, sleep, work, hobbies, relaxing, and so on. And you're going to color the spaces for each day according to how you spent your time. So at the end of the month, you're going to be able to see how many hours you've spent on each thing. So this is a bit high maintenance for me, I have to say, but if it doesn't work out, then I can still use it as a sleep tracker. On the next page, I'm combining my expenses and budget tracker together. This is a layout that I came up with when I first started bullet journaling, and I really wanted to try it out again. So on the left side of the table, we have a few columns for expenses where I write down how much I've spent each day on all those categories. So I have food, house, essentials, wants, and others, and then a column for notes. On the right side of the table, there's a few columns for tracking how much money I have on my accounts, and this is something that I don't necessarily fill in every day, maybe just once a week or whenever else I need it. The following spread is my tried and true video checklist, and as always, I'm keeping this super simple, but this layout works great if you have any projects or assignments or anything else that requires more detailed planning. The next pages are going to be for journaling, and I've decided to move my journaling section towards the end of my monthly setup, so just before my weekly pages, because this is something that I fill in at the end of each day. So this way, after I finish writing in it, I can just close off the journal and I don't have to flip back and forth to any other spreads. So now I'm doing my ideas page, and I'm just drawing some hanging roses. You could do this at the bottom of the page as well, and that way it kind of looks like a garden of roses. I think that would be really cute as well. And finally, we have the first weekly spread, which is going to be really similar to the one that I've done in my January setup. But I really love the vertical layout. It's the kind of layout that I've always had as a kid and as a student for my timetables, so it just makes sense to me to have it this way. I kind of wish I did more simple decorations like I did in the last journaling spread with the little black and white roses, but I'm just gonna have to save that for the following weeks. So I'm not gonna lie, this setup did take quite a bit of time to put together, and I know a lot of people might not want to spend so much time. Now, of course, you don't have to draw as much as I do in my bullet journal, but one of the ways that you can feel even more productive while setting up is to listen to an audiobook, which is what has gotten me through the long hours of setting up every month. So if you're looking for an unmatched selection of audiobooks, then I highly recommend you check out Audible. Last year, I came across this book called An Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. It's the book that inspired my word of the year, which is grow, you guys might remember. And that book has helped me in more ways that I could explain. And so I couldn't recommend it enough, especially if you've maybe had a slower start to the new year and you need a pick-me-up. So to get a 30-day free trial and an audiobook of your choice, all you have to do is go to audible.com/mylifeinabullet or text mylifeinabullet to 500. Alright guys, so that brings us to the end of this video and the final flip through. Please don't forget to tag me on Instagram if you end up recreating any of these spreads. It always makes my day when I see them. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, then giving it a thumbs up helps me out more than you know. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye guys!